So, if you live in the hills, you've probably gotten a look at the 2025 ballot, and wow, it is a lot. But don't you worry, in just the next few minutes, we're going to walk you through everything, from all those statewide amendments down to our local city council race, so you can feel totally prepared.
Yeah, if you took one look at that sample ballot and your eyes just kind of glazed over, trust me, you are not alone. It is absolutely packed this year.
And a huge reason why it feels so long is this number right here, 17. That's how many statewide constitutional amendments we all have to vote on. I mean, this is one of the longest ballots we've seen in a long, long time.
But hey, that's what we're here for. We're going to make sense of all of it, piece by piece, so that when you walk into that voting booth, you feel confident and ready to go.
Okay, so to make this a little easier, we've bunched all these propositions together by theme. First up, the ones that hit close to home, your money and your taxes.
So in this section, we're going to be looking at propositions 2, 3, 4, 9, 10, and 17. The common thread here? It's all about the money. Let's see what they do.
All right, let's kick things off with a couple of propositions that are all about saying no to future taxes. Proposition 2 wants to put a ban on any kind of wealth tax in Texas. That's a tax on things like your investments or property. And right next to it, Proposition 3 aims to do the same thing for a state income tax, basically locking in Texas's status as a state with no income tax.
Okay, so the other 4 in this money section are all about specific tax breaks. You've got Prop 4, which is looking to lower your property tax bill by expanding exemptions. Then there's Prop 9, which would finally give retired teachers a cost of living adjustment for their pensions. Prop 10 hopes to bring more medical manufacturing to Texas by giving those companies a tax break on their equipment. And Prop 17 continues property tax relief for the surviving spouses of disabled veterans.
All right, buckle up, because we're moving on to the next section, and it's a big one. This group is all about creating some massive new state funds for infrastructure and development.
Yeah, no kidding. This section is huge. We're talking about 8 different props here. Numbers 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 14, 15, and 16. And what's the big idea connecting all of them? They're all about setting up these massive state funds to literally build the Texas of tomorrow.
So 3 of the absolute biggest proposals on the whole ballot are right here. Proposition 6 would create the Texas Water Fund to really tackle our state's long-term water supply challenges. Then Proposition 7 creates the Texas Energy Fund, which is all about modernizing our power grid to hopefully prevent future outages. And Proposition 8 would set up a broadband fund to finally get high-speed internet out to all the rural parts of Texas.
And the other props in this future category? They're also all about playing the long game. Prop 1, for instance, is setting up a huge research fund to help more Texas public universities become top-tier research institutions. Prop 14 is a fun one for anyone who loves the outdoors. It creates a fund to buy up more land for new state parks. Prop 15 is another one about water, but it's focused on funding new technologies. And finally, Prop 16 would give the state the green light to issue bonds to improve mental health care facilities all across Texas.
Okay, we're in the home stretch for the statewide stuff. Let's talk about our final and smallest group of amendments. These are all about, the nuts and bolts of how the government actually works.
Yep, we're wrapping up the whole statewide ballot with these last 3, Propositions 11, 12, and 13. So these last 3 get pretty specific. You'll see 2 of them are about giving counties more control, which, if you follow Texas politics, you see this a lot. Prop 11 gives El Paso County the specific thumbs up to issue bonds for its parks. Prop 12 would allow Galveston County to get rid of its county treasurer's office if it wants to. And Prop 13 pivots to the courts, raising the mandatory retirement age for judges all the way up to 79. The idea is to keep experienced judges on the bench a little longer.
Whew, okay, we made it through all 17 constitutional amendments. Now, let's zoom in and bring it right back home to the hills and talk about the race that really affects our daily lives here.
First things first, it's really helpful to know how we vote here. The Hills uses what's called an at-large system. And what's that? Well, it's actually pretty simple. It just means every single resident gets to vote for every single open seat on the council. So the people who get elected are there to represent all of us. So, when you're looking at the candidates, what should you really be looking for? What matters most?
Well, according to the folks over at the Hills Observer, it really boils down to 3 key areas. 1, what's their plan for being transparent and keeping you in the loop? 2, where do they stand on the big local stuff, like public safety and how they'll manage the city's budget? And 3, what are their thoughts on working with our neighbors, like Lakeway?
Okay, you've done your homework, you've figured out where you stand, now for the most important part, right? Actually getting out there and voting. Let's make sure you've got a plan.
Okay, get your calendars out because these dates are important. You've got a nice window for early voting that starts October 20th and wraps up on Halloween, October 31st. But if you miss that, your last chance is the official election day, Tuesday, November 4th.
And hey, here are a few quick tips just to make sure everything goes smoothly when you get there. Definitely look over your sample ballot before you go. Remember to bring a photo ID the state approves of. And here's a pro tip a lot of people don't know. You can absolutely bring written notes in with you. Just leave your phone in your pocket. And of course, a for vote means you're saying yes to that change.
And I really want to leave you with this thought because it's so important. In a local race like ours, turnout means everything. Seriously, it is not an exaggeration. Your vote, plus a few of your neighbors, that could literally be what decides who wins this city council race.
At the end of the day, your vote is your voice. It shapes everything from the Texas Constitution down to the services we get right here in our neighborhood. So really, the only question left is, how are you going to use it? Thanks for taking the time to be an informed voter.